start the recording. And I am going to share my screen, which I practiced with my husband today. So I'm going to share my screen with you here. Hang on. Here. Here. Oh, that's not what I meant. That's this. There. Can you see that?
It says Mary Derbyshire has started screen sharing.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
No.
No, there's no image.
No image.
Just
Oh.
that sentence.
It did it with my husband.
It always happens.
Wait, hang on. No, hang on. Let me try one more thing. Oh boy, you guys, I thought I'd gotten this down. How's that?
No change.
Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, wait, maybe it's this. Maybe I have to do, maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, let me try it again. I might have had you all in the wrong.
Now it's.
How's that?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
That's it.
it? I love it when this happens. Okay, wait a minute. I have to escape this a little bit. Oh, it won't let me do that. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I have to stop this for a sec, you guys, just for a sec. No, we'll come back to it. It's because I need to get it into
Right format.
I need to get into the right format. And now it just disappeared on me. Hang on. Maybe I closed it by accident.
We could all be breathing.
Yes, you're right.
Just da da da.
Including you, Mary.
Huh?
Including you.
There we go. Escape. I did it. Yes. Okay, that's right. Including me. Especially me. Okay, here we go. Present from beginning. Okay, you see it now?
No.
No, because I didn't.
Share it.
I have to escape. There. I didn't share it. Now I have to find you. No. Just bear with me. No. Oh, there we go. That's it. Okay. Now I have to go into Google Slides. Yep. There. Now I need to open this up. No, I need to minimize. All right, just bear with me, everyone. When I escape, it's not letting me escape. No, okay. One more time. I know I can do this, so. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share you guys, and you're gonna have to kind of watch me go through it. Oh, no, not yet. Google Slides. Google Slides, here we go, Google Slides. Yep. Now, I'm gonna.
Well, I would have a cheat sheet. First do this, second do that. So I've done it enough and then it becomes automatic.
No. Here. Share. Good. There.
There it
You
is.
see? Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We got your screen now.
All right. So now I need to do.
It said press escape or double click to.
Right. That's for you guys. It won't let me do that.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to go into present from beginning. Okay, great. Okay. Here we are. You see me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got that.
Yep.
You see, okay, where'd you go? Here we go. All right. So
Mary, will we have access to this when we go into the class to review, or should we take notes now?
you can do both. Yes, you will have access. I have recorded this. I'm recording
Okay.
this right now. Okay. So,
Okay.
so at the end of this course, I'm going to do an online lesson with each of you, and we'll schedule that. That's what the private coaching call is. We'll do that at the end of the 4 weeks. So that's just something for you to think about. And we'll, I'm just going to go to the next slide because this is, we'll have our today's lesson, and we're going to do a guided sitting practice, and then we'll do a Q&A, and then next week we delve into the nitty-gritties of sitting. Okay? And today we're going to talk about the atlanto-occipital joint. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this in the class, and I want to help you find where your AO joint is. Okay, the atlanto-occipital joint, from an Alexander teacher's perch, is the most important joint in your entire body. You can live without your arms and your legs. You cannot live without your head, neck, and torso. The thing is, we don't talk about it. No, and no one talks about their atlanto-occipital joint. But it's so important because what Alexander observed is that the relationship of your head to your neck and the rest of the spine, remember your neck is part of your spine, that relationship of your head to your spine dictates how well you function. So that's why when you come in, the first thing I do is I put my hand where? Behind your head. And why am I doing that? I'm doing that to prevent you from pulling your head back and down. Okay? Who's ever got the, okay, Carol, you've got the barky dogs?
No, my dog is sleeping.
Kathy.
but
I know, whose dog is that? You can just click mute, just click your little mute over to the left-hand corner. Do you see that? Good, perfect.
My dog
So-
mentioned.
My dogs, okay, that's okay. Okay, so I want you, we're sitting on our sits bones, right? We have to sit on our sits bones to access the natural lengthening of our spine. Our spine wants to lengthen towards our head. It's when we pull our head back and down that we compress the spine. So I want you, we're going to locate this AO joint. I want you to put your thumbs behind your earlobes. And you're going to take your index finger and you're going to place it just at that little flap in front of where the hole of the ear is, right? And that, deep inside your skull there, that is where the atlanto-occipital joint is. And it is from this point that we say yes. Okay, the atlas, the top of the spine, that is where we say yes from. The motion of yes comes from there. The axis, the second point of contact in between the top vertebra and below, that is where we say no. So our basic communication, yes and no, is coming, if you think about it, how incredible is that? It's coming from this place that is so important in your anatomy, right? So when you come in for a lesson and I say to you, you know, oh, I can feel you tensing your jaw, or I can feel you tensing your tongue. How do I know that? Here's a secret. I know that because I can't move your head. If I can't move your head, you're tightening your neck. you're tightening your tongue, and you're tightening your jaw, or one of the other, one of those three, okay? So Alexander said, let your neck be free so that your head can move forward and up, so that your back can lengthen and widen. So if you take your head, right, so here you are, you're freeing up your head on top of your spine. Do the opposite for me. Take your head back and down, and you're probably gonna have to slouch a little bit to do it. Yeah. Okay. Now, can you feel that contraction through your torso? That compression, right? So compression, when we're compressed, we don't breathe well, we don't digest well, our circulation isn't moving very well, we're not breathing fully and freely. So we free ourselves up when we allow the head to come forward off of the top of the spine. Does that make sense? I know there's a lot to this. Okay. So this is what I was just saying, is the way your head relates to your spine dictates how well you function. And so let's talk about functioning for a second. It dictates how well you speak, your voice, your vocal production. It dictates how well you sing. It dictates whether, if once again, we go back to this thing that there's no separation between the mind and the body. That means if your body is stressed out, you're emotionally stressed out. You can't tease these aspects of yourself away from each other. You function as a whole, as a one. So when the head-neck-spine relationship is compromised and your head is no longer poised on top of the spine, your body stiffens and braces and contorts in every conceivable way to keep you balanced so that your noggin doesn't hit the floor. And that fear of falling is one of the strongest fears we have. Now, who here has tripped? Who's tripped? And what happens when you trip?
Suddenly hit the ground.
You panic, don't you? How do you feel? What do you feel emotionally when you trip? It's, oh my God. For everyone, regardless if you're 85. Even as a little kid, if you trip, you're all in a flurry, right? Yeah. Because it's a panic. Because you're in you innately, you don't want that head to hit the ground. So the front of the head is heavier than the back of the head. And the natural intention of the head is to be forward. In fact, the natural intention of the whole body is to be forward. This is what keeps us moving forward. It's not backwards. We don't move backwards, right? But yet, for most of us, we pull our heads back and down, and that makes our intention go backwards, right? So how many people of you have come into my studio and I have you stand up on your toes and have you come back down onto your feet? That's because I'm trying to get your intention forward and not backwards. So when you pull your head back and down, pulling your head back and down is part of the startle reflex, is part of the fight or flight reflex, is part of the fear reflex. All of those things are one and the same. When you go into startle, or when you are living in startle, or when you're habituated to startle, the muscles in your neck and your back are tightening big time because that's not their default. That's not how nature intended you. The tongue is a muscle. Your tongue and jaw muscles are extremely powerful. In some places, they'll say that your tongue and your jaw muscles are the most powerful muscles in your entire body. And think about that for a minute. More powerful than your gluteals, your bum muscles, your thigh muscles. I mean, this is really incredible. If you're tightening the muscles in your neck and back, chances are you're tightening your tongue and jaw muscles as well. So one reason why I speak to you so often in class about releasing your tongue and your jaw is because it's easier to access your tongue and your jaw than it is your neck. Alexander would tell people to release their neck. That's a really hard, you don't have a lot of conversations with your neck, but you can have conversations with your tongue and your jaw, right? When you release the muscles in your neck and your jaw and your tongue, and you're not tightening your muscles in the back of your neck, your head will gently bob forward. And that's where I'm coming from with drop the nose, drop the nose, drop the nose. Your body knows how to move. No one taught you how to walk, crawl, smile. Your movement is innate. When you don't move well, it's because you're interfering with your natural sense of poise and balance. And this work is all about figuring out how you're interfering, stopping that interference, and allowing your natural way of being to emerge. Like that little girl. I love this picture. I use it all the time. I mean, can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah? So here she is. See how the intention of her back is up? This is a perfect fetal squat. Perfect. And so those of you who take my exercise classes, this is what I'm always talking about. This is what I'm talking about when we're, whoops, where'd she go? I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. Here, this is when I'm telling you to think up, this is what I mean. She is up. Even though she's down to the ground, she's releasing away from the ground. It's amazing, isn't it? So that's what I was saying just a few moments ago. You are learning how to stop the ways that you habitually interfere with yourself so that the free and easy way that you were meant to move can be realized. Movement should be easy. A couple of you mentioned that I put an inactive link in the course. I just redid that. I realized what my mistake was. So the work, Rajal Cohen's work about lightening up or lighten up is in your coursework now. So your habits pretty much always involve contracting. Our response to everything, emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, you name it, whatever, our habit is to contract. What we're doing here is we're saying no. We're saying no. We're inhibiting. We're saying no. I'm not going to contract. Instead, I'm going to be expansive. I'm going to be expansive by letting go of my tight muscular habitual patterns and allow myself to expand within my frame and in my being. But in order to change the habit, you have to stop whatever it is that you're doing for something to replace it, right? If you just keep on doing what you do, then you're just going to add on and add on and add on. We have to take away in order to allow for whatever is underneath there to emerge. So stopping the habit is really, really important. And Alexander, he wrote a lot about this, is that you have to even stop the habit at the thought. You have to stop, oh, I think I'm going to go play my flute. Mike and I have done a lot of work with this. I'm going to go play my flute. Even before you think about going to play your flute, or just as you're starting to think about your flute, you have to stop and inhibit your reaction to your flute. Nikki and I have done a lot of work with her cello. Stop and think. Let go. Before I go for my walk, before I get out of the car, before I walk through the door, before I pour my cup of coffee. So inhibition is the most important component of this work. Nancy, were you going to say something? Oh, you're muted, sweetie. Hang on. Let me unmute you. Nance?
It's constant. What
It's constant. You're right.
It is constant. You cannot ever not inhibit.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So Alexander said that thus the work becomes a new means whereby which you do something.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So now so job one is not weeding the garden. Job one is stopping and letting go to weed the garden.
Okay.
So let me just take this one more step. I've mentioned this a couple of times to some of you I know. It was a book. I think Mike gave me that book, The Barn at the End of the World. And this woman, she was a Catholic nun, and she became a practicing Buddhist. And she was at Thich Nhat Hanh's Buddhist retreat in the south of France. And she said that they all had chores to do, and she was in the kitchen, and they were all doing their various cooking for their chores. And Thich Nhat Hanh walked in and said, are you practicing Buddhism? And they all said, yes. And he said, well, what are you doing? And she said, I'm chopping carrots. And he said, then you're not practicing Buddhism. And she said, huh? And he said, when you're practicing Buddhism, you smile and you breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Right. You smile and you breathe. Smile and you breathe. And that's inhibition. And that's inhibition. Yeah. Yeah. So honing, let me ask you this. You can raise your hands. How many of you, when you would leave my lessons, how many of you feel calmer? You feel calmer because you're practicing inhibition. You feel, how many of you after a series of lessons feel less reactive? Yeah. And for me, this was the pivotal thing, right? You teach what you need to learn. So inhibition is a skill that we practice and we hone and refine. And the more you practice inhibition, the more and more centered and still and less reactive you become. It is a lifelong practice. Some people refer to inhibition as meditation inactivity. Actually, that quote, meditation inactivity, came from a monk who was studied with the Dalai Lama, and he met an Alexander teacher, and John Nichols is his name, and the monk asked him what he did. This was in London, and John said, well, you'd never know, I'm an Alexander technique teacher, but I'm sure you've never heard of it. And he said, no, meditation inactivity. So it is the most important aspect of the technique. And I get more into inhibition in the next iteration. Okay, now I have to figure out how to get out of here, you guys. Bear with me. Escape. Oh, it did it. It did it. Hi.
Hi.
I've lost you.
Am I there now, Helen?
Nope, you're gone.
Does everybody see me?
Yes.
I can
Yes.
see you.
I do.
I see you. We lost the slide.
Okay, the slide's gone. I took the slides down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Huh. All right.
So
I'll have to join again. Oh, there's.
no, yeah, you're here. I see you, Helen.
Okay.
Do you see me?
No, I see.
Oh, you know what may be going on? You might have clicked stop video. No, because you were here. It wouldn't.
I didn't do anything. I didn't think.
That is very bizarre. Hang on, let me do this.
Because we see you.
Yeah, we see you beautifully. Okay, let me
I
see.
Your screen, or is it my screen?
Maybe your screen.
It was, I wonder what that is. Okay, hold on.
Okay, we're not going anywhere.
You want to see? Okay. Let's do that. All right, I wonder where you went. I just have a new tab now. Wait a minute, let me go back to Zoom. Oh, there we go. There
Okay.
you are.
Oh, yay, good. Okay, so, any questions with that? Yeah.
Nancy has her hand up.
Oh, Nance, where are you, Nance? I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me unmute everybody. There you go, Nance. Hi, Nance.
Hi. Earlier on, when we were talking about our habit, and I asked Mike the question, how much of our habit is genetically predisposed? Because I see Mike walking and moving in the same way that his mother did. And I just wondered.
You know, I know we had this conversation many years ago, because of Galen, right? Because we were talking about similarities between Galen, and I think that's a really, really good question that I don't have the answer to. Although we do learn a lot of habits, habit is a huge umbrella, right? It's not just whether you tilt your head or you talk with your hands like I'm talking right now. Habit is intention, it's energy, it's tempo, it's rhythm, it's intonation, right? It's so big. It's such a big umbrella. And we learn, we imitate our parents, we imitate our teachers, we imitate our friends, we imitate our spouses, and we imitate the fashion of the time. I mean, one of my things is that, we're so affected by so much around us. We're taking things in, and we aren't necessarily choosing to be the way we are. It becomes a habituation.
Yeah.
But I think there is definitely a genetic component as well.
Okay.
So, all right, good. So we're going to do a little guided sitting practice. Oh, let me ask you: are people incorporating the lie down?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Little bit.
Gotta work on that.
Okay.
Me too.
All right. Okay. We're gonna sit here for a second, and then I'm gonna preach to you about the lie down. Okay. So let's all take our hands and put them underneath our sits bones, and find the bony bits, our ischial tuberosities. Right. You would never dream of sitting anywhere else other than these babies. Now, slide your hands out. Good. And you just have a different relationship, don't you, with the chair? Yeah? Good. And your feet are a little bit underneath you. I don't care if your heels are off the floor, right? As long as some part of your foot is on the floor, you're absolutely fine. Good. And I want you to think about your head on top of your spine. And you're going to think of allowing your tongue to soften, the tip of your tongue, and the middle part of your tongue, and the back of your tongue, right? That reaches all the way back to your throat here, to your hyoid bone. And you're just, if your tongue is resting at the roof of your mouth, that's okay, but you don't want it to be screwed to the roof of your mouth. If your tongue is screwed to the roof of your mouth, you are stressed. And that's okay too, right? But we want to lower the temperature, lower the volume of that stress. It's all a process. And if your tongue is resting at the bottom of your mouth, that's a beautiful thing. Good. And you're going to allow your jaw to release. You're going to allow your jaw to release away from your upper molars. You don't want your lips to be pressed together. There should be a lightness and an ease to your mouth. And you're going to just think of your spine releasing all the way up to the crown of your head. And you're going to think about your shoulders releasing away from each other. Your right shoulder releasing out into the right space, and your left shoulder releasing out into the left. I like to put the back of my hands on my thighs, and that opens up my armpit. So my shoulders are releasing away from each other. My spine is releasing up. I like to kid you and tell you, you are a giant lowercase t, right? Your elbows are releasing down and away from your shoulders. That's it. And the intention of the elbow is forward. This is important because a lot of us hike our shoulders, our elbows up and back behind us. Forward with that shoulder. Good. And allowing the backs of the hands to release onto the thigh. Sit bones are releasing onto the chair. Spine is releasing up into the skull. Tongue, jaw. Good. Shoulders are away from each other. Elbows are releasing down. Good. And your hips, I want you to think your right hip is releasing away from your left hip, and your left hip is releasing away from your right hip. That's it. And your thighs are releasing forward and down from your hip. That's it. Remember, your hips like to be a little higher than your knees when you're sitting. That's why I like you all to get sitting wedges. Good. Allowing your knees to be soft and releasing forward. And we're going to come to the lower leg. This is a little tricky with the lower leg. I want you to think that your heels, even though they may not be touching on the ground, they're releasing down and back. So they're kind of doing this. It's kind of doing, I'll bring my skeleton in next time. They're doing this. They're going down and back. And the foot is releasing forward from the heel. Your toes are releasing forward from the footbed. Good. And your ankle, the front of your ankle is releasing, this is tricky, up and back. Imagine my hand on your foot. I do this with some of you. I put my hand on your heel and I put my other hand here and I'm directing you up and back. That's it. That's it, good. And we'll come back to our sits bones, allowing our spine to release up, tongue and jaw. Good. Now, we're going to take our hands and we're going to hold on to one digit, right? And you can put your hands on your lap. I'm just holding mine up so you can see it. One digit. And I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you, where do you notice that you feel ease in your body? And you're going to find a spot. And I'm going to count to 4. You're going to have 4 counts to find a spot. And then we're going to go to another digit and you're going to find another spot. Okay, so here you are, sitting beautifully. We're going to start with the thumb. Where do you feel ease somewhere in your body? 2, 3, 4. Index finger. Where is there ease in your body? 2, 3, 4. Middle finger. Where does ease reside in your body? 2, 3, 4. Ring finger. Where is there ease in your body? 2, 3, 4. What kind of ease do you discover in your body? 2, 3, 4. Thumb on the other hand. Where is ease hiding out in your body? 2, 3, 4. Index finger. Where is there ease in your body? 2, 3, 4. Where's another easy spot in your body. 2, 3, 4. Where is there ease in your body? 2, 3, 4. Where else do you find ease in your body? 2, 3, 4. There. What was that like?
A massage.
What?
A massage.
I found the place where I was holding tension relaxed.
Yeah. 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 Anyone else?
I noticed how much I'm in the midst of having a back issue right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the first place was, of course, the discomfort or pain of that. But then I noticed how many places were really good.
Yes.
So that the area that is not good became smaller, which was really great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So, pain is like the thumb in the cartoon. You know, the giant thumb that gets banged and it goes
Yes.
wee, wee. And then you become a giant thumb. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you go through your day and you're just that giant thumb because that's all you're thinking about is wham, 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 wham. When there's all this other part of you, right? So what happens is you get sucked into the wham, 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 wham. That defines you instead of the elongation of the spine, right? So you come in and you'll say, oh, this is bothering me. And I'm like, okay, let's get to work, right? But I don't spend a lot of time on the wham, do I? Right? I go to the whole person. That's because we need to take you away from the wham because the wham pulls you down and sucks you in. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had exactly the same experience as Nikki because I'm having a back issue. And by looking around for the relaxed or places,
Yeah.
I forgot about it for that period of time. And then Nikki reminded me about it. But anyway,
Okay.
thank you.
So the Alexander technique is a toolbox. You learn inhibition, you learn direction, and then you learn the lie down, you learn the breathing, you learn the da-da-da-da. It's just adding on. This is another tool. And the beauty of it is that it doesn't, it doesn't take long. You're doing it to yourself, right? You can do this. It calms you down. It makes you feel calmer, doesn't it? It's very,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And it's that calmness is the reset. Okay.
Yep.
All right. You guys are great. It's so much fun having you all here.
You're great. Thank you for doing this.
Of course. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay.
I think it was, I want to share one thing. I think it's your friend Jennifer, who's a violinist, who's an Alexander, and she had a Facebook page. And she said now that she's washing her hands 1,000,000 times a day, the way she's supposed to, she does this process that you just did with the fingers while she's washing her hands with all the soap.
I love that. That's
Here's
beautiful.
one way.
That's really cute. That's really cute. Yeah. All right. Okay. So you will get the second week. That will be sent to you tomorrow. It's automated. It will just come in. And take your time. You don't have to do it all. It's there for you. I'm here for you. Send me questions. I just want to be here for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Great.
Thank you. Mary.
All right, you guys. Much love to you all. I love you all. And I will see you next week.
All right. See you
Very
next
Take care.
week.
Have a good week.
Yes. Bye-bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.
Stay well.
You too, George.
Yes,
Too.
everyone.
Forget